Hello viewers, to get latest updates on my video, kindly like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.
Be strong.
Hello viewers, welcome to the session on mobile application development with the course code 18CSMP68. In this session, we will see the developing of sign up activity which is prescribed as third program for 6th semester CSE or ISC students under VTU. The idea of the program is to create sign up activity with username and password. This sign up activity should validate the password based on the following rules. Password should contain uppercase and lowercase letter. Password should contain letters and numbers. Password should contain special character. Minimum length of the password, the default length is 8. On successful sign up, the application has to direct to login activity. The user should log in using username and password created during sign up activity. If the username and password are matched, then navigate to a new activity which displays login successful, or else display the toast message saying login failed. The user is given only 2 attempts to log in, and after that display a toast message saying failed login attempts and disable the sign in button. Before we begin with sign up activity, let us understand few points related to multiple activities. In this sign up activity, we create 3 empty activities named main activity.java, login activity.java, login successful activity.java, respective to which we have activity underscore main.xml, activity underscore login.xml, activity underscore login underscore successful.xml. The layout of these 3 activities is as shown to you. Firstly, we have activity underscore main.xml for sign up. Here we add 2 text box to read email and password. A sign up button is added which on click is going to validate the password and navigate to new activity. The new activity, activity underscore login.xml, is added with 2 text box to read email and password. A login button is added here to match the email and password. If the email and password are matched with the registered email and password, this activity navigates to new activity. The final activity, activity underscore login underscore successful.xml, will display a message login successful. Now let us create these 3 activities. To begin with, we open an Android Studio and create a new project. Go to File, New and select New Project. So among multiple activities which are given to you by Android Studio, select empty activity and click on Next. Now we need to specify the project name. Let me use this as sign up activity app. So the package name and the default location where a project is going to reside will be shown to you. The language which I selected for developing an application is Java, and minimum SDK selected is Android 4.1. Now click on Finish. Android Studio takes few minutes to load the project. Once the project is loaded, you can see 2 files open. One is main activity.java and another is activity underscore main.xml. The project structure will be shown at the left of your screen. Now, let me go to this activity underscore main. So design this activity for reading an email as well as password. So to begin with, there is design. Let me go to this view option and select show system UI. Okay. So it's showing me sign up activity app. Let me remove this hello world. Go to this code, remove the text view, or instead of removing, let me name this as, instead of hello world, let me name this as sign up. Sign up. Increase the text size. Go to the split mode where you can see both of them parallelly. Text size, let me write it as 30 dp. Okay. So let me give the style. Text style, I'll make it as bold. Now I'll change this layout from the constraint layout to the relative layout. Select everything and replace this by relative layout. Done. So when I make this relative layout, the component, the text view which was present at the center of your screen will be present at the top left side. So let me make this component movable towards horizontal by dragging the circle to the end. Let me make this component movable towards vertical by dragging the circle to the bottom, as we keep on doing in every program. Now, let me bring this component and place it in the center of your screen. Okay. So the sign up activity is done. So let me write it as sign up. Let me make it as UP small. Okay, done. Okay. Bring it to the center. Done. So after having a text view mentioned as sign up, go to the design. From the text which is available in the palette, select plain text, drag and drop onto the screen. So as usual, it will be present at the top. Let me make this component movable towards horizontal by dragging this circle to the end. And similarly, let me make this component movable towards vertical by dragging this to the bottom. Okay. So now I can place this component wherever I want in the screen. Let me drag and place it here. Increase the width. Okay. So similar to name, I'll add one more text box, plain text. Select it, drag and drop. So as usual, let me make movable towards horizontal. And let me make this movable towards vertical. Bring this component and place below the first edit text field. Increase the width of this field. Okay. Now come to the split mode. You can see two edit text field has been added. So the ID of first edit text field, I'll change this to edit text email. So the ID of first edit text field, I'm going to name it as edit text email. And instead of text, let me give this as hint and write the text as email. So perfect. You can see in the design. At the hint, I have a name email, and the ID for this edit text box I had specified as edit text email. And similarly, one more edit text field which got added. Let me change the ID of this edit text field to edit text PWD password. So edit text PWD, which represents a password field. So second edit text field. So change the text to hint and change the text from the name to password. Okay. So you can see the design is done perfectly. So we have a activity where the name of the layout is mentioned as sign up, and we have added two edit text field. One of the edit text field is going to read an email, another one is going to read a password. So after this, let me add a button. To add a button, go to this design mode. From the buttons which is present in your palette, select the button, drag and drop it onto the screen. So because of relative layout, it will be present at the top. So let me make this button movable towards horizontal by dragging this circle to the end. And let me drag this circle to the bottom so that it is movable towards vertical. Perfect. Now I can drag this and place wherever I want. So let me place this in the center of the screen below your password and come to the split mode. So the button which we have added, for this I am going to change the text of the button as sign up. Sign up. And the ID for this button is given as a button itself. Let it be as it is. I'm going to add one property for this button, on click. So when I'm going to click on this button, I'm going to call an event, sign up event. So which need to be added to the main activity. So to add this to main activity, click on this button, create sign up event in the main activity. So let me select this, and you can see public void sign up event with a parameter view has been added to the main activity. So the design of first activity is done, or design of first screen is done, or first layout is completed. Now similar to this, we need to create two more layout. So to do that, right click on your package where you have a Java file. So I had right clicked on a package which is present under the folder Java, under which you have your main activity.java file. So right clicking there, you have an option new. Inside the new, you have an option activity. So in that activity, we have an option like the different activities which was shown to you while creating an Android project. The same activities will be shown here. So let me select the same empty activity. It is asking me the name of this activity. Let me write it as login activity. And you can see the respective layout file, which means XML file gets created for this activity with the name activity underscore login. I'll change the name. I'll just make it as activity underscore login with the same default package, and the language selected is Java. Let me click on finish. You can see a login activity is created, and you can also see in the resource under layout, activity underscore login has been created, which is shown here actually. So this is going to take a few minutes to build a project. The Gradle imports Maven repository data. Done. So it has been done. Let me go to this activity underscore login dot XML. And this is the empty activity which is present now. Now, once again, we need to design here. So this is a second activity where I should have a two text field. One of the text field to read an email, another text field to read a password. So let me add one text view here first. Click on this text view. Once again, let me cross verify in the code whether this is in, okay, this is in a constraint layout. Let me change to the relative layout. Select this, replace this with relative layout. Done. So come to this design mode, drag and drop this text view here. So let me check it out in the split mode. This text view is added, but it is not visible. Let me increase the okay. So let me make this component movable towards horizontal by dragging this to the end. And similarly, let me drag this to the bottom and make this component movable towards vertical. Done. So let me minimize now. Okay. So I'll bring this text view to the center of the screen. Name of this text view I'll change to login. Increase the text size. Text size I'll give it as 30 dp. Okay. Similarly, I'll specify the style, text style as bold. Okay. Now you can see one text view specifying the name of your screen as login has been added. After that, let me add two text field, one to read email, the other one to read password. Go to your design. From the text which is present in the palette, select plain text, drag and drop here. So as normal, make this component movable towards horizontal. Make this component movable towards vertical. Done. So drag this and place it onto the screen, center of your screen. Let me increase the width. Okay. Done. Let me increase the width. Okay. So similar to name, I'll add one more plain text. As usual, make this component movable towards horizontal. Make this component movable towards vertical. So bring this and place below the first edit text field. Let me increase the width. And place it properly. Okay. Done. So come to this split mode. Split mode. So the ID for first edit text field, let me change this to edit text login email. If you remember, the ID which we had specified for the first edit text field in case of main activity, sign up activity, was edit text email. But here I'm specifying this as edit text login email. And similarly, for the second one, I'll write edit text login PWD password, wherein in case of main activity, we had a edit text PWD password. Now after this, let me add a button. So go to the design, from the palette, we have a buttons, drag this button and place it here. The button has been added. So go to the split mode. The ID of this button is mentioned as button 2. Let it be as button 2, not a problem. So the text for this button I'll change as login. Now the edit text field, which is specified as name and name, let me change this text as hint. Write this name as email. And one more important thing is input type is mentioned as text person name. So let me change this to text email address. So this is one more important thing which we also need to do in activity underscore main. We'll do that. And another edit text field which is mentioned as edit text login password. I'll change the text to hint, change the name to password, and input type, change this to edit person name, text person name to text password. So that's what we had specified. We need to do the same thing for activity underscore main. So instead of text person name, I'll change this to text email address. And similarly, instead of text person name for password, I'll change this to text password. So done. So the type of your data is changed in activity underscore main as well as activity underscore login. So we had created two layout. One is for sign up, the other one is for login. Suppose login is successful, we need to navigate to a new activity where we are going to get displayed with the login successful. So let us create one more new activity. Okay. To create one more new activity, right click on the package where you have your Java file. Go to new activity. Let me select same empty activity. Give the name of this activity as login successful. So the activity name, the layout name is activity underscore login underscore successful. Let it be. So with the default package name and the language selected as Java. Click on finish. Okay. You can see activity underscore login underscore successful.xml got created. And login successful.java also got created. Now here, let me open this activity underscore login underscore successful. So here, let me add a text view. Drag this and place it onto the screen. Okay. Go to this split mode. Change this to relative layout. Let me change the constraint layout to relative layout. Okay. So I'll change the text view name as login successful. Successful. Let me specify the size of this text. So text size, I'll write it as 28 dp. Then I'll make this as bold. Text style, I'll write it as bold. Okay. So now let me make this component movable towards horizontal. And let me make this component movable towards vertical. Okay. So place this component in your screen so that it is visible clearly. I'll make this center top. So when you are going to enter into this screen, you are going to get a message displayed onto the activity mentioning login successful. So that's it. We had created with the 3 new activities. So this is how we are going to create 3 new activities with the name main activity, login successful activity, and login activity, respective to which you have main activity underscore main.xml, activity underscore login underscore successful.xml, activity underscore login XML. Now we have successfully created 3 different activities, one for sign up, another for login, another for displaying message login successful. So creating these 3 activities, now we should understand how to navigate from one activity to the other activity. So for navigating from one activity to the another activity, Android provides intents. An intent is a description of an operation to be performed. An intent is an object used to request an action from another app component via the Android system. In a simple words, I can say intents are a bridge which is going to provide you facility to move from one activity to the another activity. Now, what an intent can do? What can an intents are going to do? Intents can start activities like a button click starts a new activity for text entry. Clicking share opens an app that allows you to post a photo. An intent can start a service, initiate downloading a file in a background. An intent can deliver broadcast, like the system informs everybody that the phone is now charging. In a simple words, an intent is capable of starting a new activity. An intent is capable of starting a new service. An intent is capable of delivering broadcast. We have types of intents like implicit intent. Implicit intent does not specify the component. In such a case, intent provides information of available components provided by the system that is to be invoked. For example, you may write the following code to view the web page. Like we are creating a variable of intent, instantiating it with an action view. Then we are going to set the data where we are going to parse an URL, google.com. Here, the component is not specified. Whenever a data is parsed, the application will decide which particular other application or other component is supporting this google.com. So by default, a browser will be opened by your application. We have not specified that browser need to be opened in your intent. The intent itself is going to decide, or your application is going to decide based on your URL, it will see. So if it is an URL, we need to open the browser. So the decision is taken implicitly by your application about the component which need to be opened next. So such kind of intents is what we call it as an implicit intent, where the component, the next component which need to be opened is decided implicitly. Wherein we have another type of intent, explicit intent, specifies the component. In such case, intent provides the external class to be invoked. For example, We create a variable of an intent, instantiate it with two parameters. First parameter is the current activity. That's what I mentioned as this. The second component is the activity where you want to navigate. So that will be specified as second parameter. After doing this specification, we start the intent by calling start activity and passing the intent variable. So this is how we are going to make use of the intent to move from one activity to the other activity. Intents not only supports you to move from one activity to the another activity, but also supports you to send and receive the data. Two types of sending data within intents. One is data, another one is extras. Data, one piece of information whose data location can be represented by URI or what we call it as URL. In other words, if you have a URL which need to be passed, that you will be passing in the form of a data. Wherein extras, one or more piece of information as collection of key value pair in a bundle. So if you have more data which need to be provided, these data will be provided or sent or received in the form of a key value pair. And what we call this extra data as a bundle, that we are going to see. To send and receive a data through intents, the first activity or sending activity should create the intent object, put data or extras into that intent, start new activity with start activity method. Whereas the second activity, which is nothing but the receiving activity, get the intent object the activity was started with, retrieve the data or extras from the intent object. So this is how we are going to set the data or put the data using intent. So we use a set data method and we are going to parse the URL through the URI class, which is going to be set and it is going to be moved to the next activity, or it is going to send to the next activity. Similar to the URI, you can also pass a location of a file, which can be passed as an information to the next activity through an intent. So this is how we are going to move data from one intent to the another intent. Or there is one more way. You can put the information into intents as extras. For example, we have a method put extra. This is the key value pair. So the name and value. For example, through the object of an intent, we call a put extra method and we pass the name as well as the value for that. Not only single value as well as name, we can also pass the array of values. Like we have an array food list which contains rice, beans and fruit. Even the array can be passed as a value and the name for this value is given as food. So this is how we are going to put one value from one intent to the another intent. In simple words, put extra is the method which we are going to make use in the intent in order to push the value from one activity to the another activity. While retrieving the value in the second activity, we make use of a method get intent. So we need to retrieve the intent. From the retrieved intent, we have a method get XXX extra. XXX name. XXX can be replaced by int, string, float, etc. If the data which we are retrieving is an integer, we will be replacing XXX by int, which becomes get int extra. Int name. If at all data we are retrieving becomes a string, so this method will be called as get string extra, string name, and so on. If this value which we are going to retrieve is going to become a float, we have a get float extra, float name. So this is how we are going to push the data from one activity to the another activity using put extra method, and how we are going to retrieve the value in the second activity from the intent using get XXX extra method after using get intent method. So these methods is what we are going to make use in our activity in order to push the data from one activity to the another activity. So we'll start coding the Java program so that we'll understand how these intents are used, how this get intent or put extras are used in order to move the data from one activity to the another activity. After understanding how data can be moved from one activity to the another activity, how intents are used in order to pass the data from one activity to the another activity, how to navigate from one activity to the another activity. Now we'll understand about how to validate a password. So to do this, Java provides a class called pattern, which is present in a package java.util.regex. We validate the password with the help of three methods: compile, matcher, matches. While compile, we are going to specify the rules which are built for a password in the form of a regular expression, regex. In the matcher, we are going to retrieve the password from the user, and then we are going to call the matches method. So the matches method is going to compare password entered by the user with a regular expression for a password that is compiled in the compile method. If password entered by the user matches with a regular expression for a password, then matches method will retrieve true, will give you true. If a password entered by the user when compared with a regular expression for the password doesn't match, then the matches method will give you false. So this is how we are going to validate a password in a sign up activity. The statements which are written in three different lines can be combined and written in two different states as shown here. Now making use of the intent, idea of intent and idea of this pattern, now we are going to build an application where we are going to enter the email as well as password, validate the password according to the rules. If the password is going to match to our condition, we will navigate to the login activity, else we will display the error message. In the login activity, we specify we compare the email and password entered in the login activity with the registered email and password of in the sign up activity. If this is going to match, we will be moving on to the next activity where it will be displaying the login successful. So let us write the code and run the program and cross verify whether the application is going to build properly or not. Okay. Coming back to the sign up activity app, let me come to this main activity or first program Java file. So let me define edit text field variable for reading email as well as password. Edit text, I'll write it as email and password. Now similarly, I'll create a variable for a button for sign up. Okay, for sign. Now I need to map ID of edit text field with a variable of edit text class in a Java program, which I'll be doing in the onCreate method. So email is equal to map, we have a function find view by ID. So through the resource r.id. So the ID for email I had specified as edit text email. So let me select that. So now I can make sure that edit text field with an ID edit text email is mapped with a variable of edit text in Java with a name email. Similarly, I'm going to map the variable password in Java with a ID in a XML file. Find view by ID r dot id dot. So the ID for password had specified as edit text password pwd. So I'm going to map it. I actually need not to have this button. Why? Because I have created an onCreate method. No problem. So done. So we have mapped with this. And now, if at all I'm going to press on a button, I have created a sign up event, which is a property of on click in your XML file for a button. So we have written an on click property. The name of the property is sign up event. So the sign up event is what I need to write here. So when a button is going to be pressed, what I need to do is what I need to write here. So when a button is going to be pressed, okay. So when a button is going to be pressed, I need to make sure that I need to read an email from the email field, password from the password field. So let me do that first. Create a variable string email, or I'll create sign up email is equal to. So I need to retrieve from the email field, which is represented by the variable email. So to retrieve the value, I have a method get text. So whatever the text I'm going to get, let me convert it into string dot toString. So the email field has been retrieved and it is present in a variable sign up email. Similarly, I need to read the password. So let me declare one more variable string sign up password pwd. So let me change this name sign up SHN. Okay. Password, which is equal to a password is present in a variable password dot retrieving it through get text, converting it to string using toString, so that my sign up email is containing the email which is present in the edit, which was entered in the edit text field, edit text mail email, and sign up password is containing a password which was entered in the field edit text password. So after reading the email as well as password and storing it in a variable, now I'm going to validate it by calling a function is valid password, and I'll pass the password which I had read, sign up password. I'll write if not of is valid password. Is valid password is a method which I need to write. So this is the method where I am going to write a regular expression specifying how a password should be. So I had not still written a code for this. I need to add this. Let me add this to the main activity. So create in a main activity. Okay. So this got created. Private boolean is valid password string sign up password. Okay. Now suppose if at all I come to know the sign up password is not a valid password, not is valid password. So if I come to know the sign up password is not a valid password, then I'm going to display a toast message. So to display the toast message, I'll create a toast dot make text. First parameter is the context. So the context I'll write it as main activity dot this. Second parameter is the string. So the string I'll be displaying it as password does not match the rules. So this is my string which I'm going to, or this is my message which I'm going to display. And the third parameter is the length of your message. Let me display it for a longer duration. So length underscore long. And finally dot show. So I'm going to toast a message. For toasting a message, I'm going to call a function called as makeText. MakeText method is going to accept 3 parameters. First parameter is the context where you want to display the toast message. I want to display the toast message in the current context, which is nothing but main activity. So I had given main activity dot this. The second parameter is the message what you wanted to present. So the message what I'm going to display is password does not match the rule. And whatever the toast message you are presenting, it should be visible for a longer duration. That's the third parameter. I had specified length underscore long. And finally, after making your text ready, I need to call a function show in order to display it. So this is what I had done here. If at all I come to know, I have entered invalid password. Suppose after this, after displaying this, let me return. Where this is going to return, this is going to return back to the same old activity, which is nothing but the sign up activity. So it will return back to the sign up activity and it will be present in the same activity. Now suppose if at all I had entered a proper password, if at all I had entered the proper password, then I need to navigate to the second activity. So if I want to navigate to the second activity, I should make use of intent. So I'll write intent, I'll create a variable in, intent is equal to, instantiate this, new intent. First parameter is the current activity, which is nothing but main activity dot this. Second parameter is the name of your activity where you want to move. So the second activity where I want to move is login activity. So I'll write login activity dot class. So this is how I'm going to navigate from main activity to the login activity when if my password is valid. Put a semicolon. Now not only you need to navigate, also you should pass the email and password which is read in the sign up activity to the login activity. To send the data through the intent, we have intent in dot put extra. Put extra. So first one is the name. The name I'll give it as email. Second one is the value. So value is present in a variable sign up email. Similarly, in dot put extra. First parameter is the name. So the name I'll give it as password, or I'll just give it as pass, comma. The value for the pass is present in sign up PWD, password. So after putting the value, or after putting the value which I need to send for the next activity, I'll start the activity which is indicated in the intent. Start activity. So the intent is in. So done. Now the intent is going to navigate to the login activity with 2 data. What are those 2 data? One is the email, another one is the password, which we had entered in the first activity or sign up activity. Now one more important thing what we need to write here is the is valid password. So we need to write a code for validating the password in is valid password. So to validate a password, we should recall what are all the rules that was associated with respect to the password. One, password should contain uppercase and lowercase letter. Second, password should contain number. Third, password should contain special character. And finally, password should have a length of 8 or more than 8. So this was the rule which was specified in the rules of a password. Now, what I am going to do is, before I am going to execute this is valid password method, I am going to compile or I am going to build the regular expression for the password with the help of a function or with the help of a class pattern. So I have a class pattern. So the pattern which is present in language, you can see here that got added, which is present in java.util.regex. So that's the package where your pattern class is present. So I'll write pattern for lowercase. For lowercase, I'll generate a pattern which is going to compile the regular expression. So the regular expression, I'm going to write it as A to Z dot star and finally $. So we are going to compile a regular expression for a lowercase. So what this regular expression is going to tell you is the regular expression should contain alphabet from A to Z, lowercase A to Z. Cap indicates it has to begin with a cap, and dollar indicates it is going to end the pattern with the dollar. So cap indicates the beginning of your pattern, dollar indicates your ending of your pattern. Star indicates before your lowercase, you can have any number of characters or anything, and after your character, you can have any number of characters and anything. So this is just a regular expression which we are going to build only for lowercase. Now, similar to this, I need to build it for uppercase. Let me copy this, paste it here. So I'll change this to uppercase. So uppercase, I need to have the same rule, same regex, but the pattern should be from uppercase A to Z. So we had written a pattern or regex for lowercase. We had written a pattern or regex for uppercase. Now we'll write the regex for number. So let me write it as number. So the pattern is same. The regex is almost same. The only thing is pattern should be from 0 to 9. Now this is a regular expression for number. So we had compiled regular expression for lowercase. We have compiled regular expression for uppercase. We have compiled regular expression for digits, or what we call it as number. We need to compile a regular expression for special character. Now for that, I'll write compile dot star. When your regular expression pattern is going to begin, I'll write one more cap here. So A to Z, 0 to 9. So the same, it's going to begin with cap, end with dollar, and before this pattern it can have any number of things and anything, and after this pattern it can have any number of character. But what it should not have is what it is specified here. When I'm going to start with the pattern A to Z in uppercase and 0 to 9, I had written a cap which indicates that not of, negation of. So your special character is such kind of character which should not be from the lowercase A to Z, which should not be from the uppercase A to Z, which should not be from the digits 0 to 9. So I'll change the name of this pattern as special character. So done. We had compiled and designed regular expression for lowercase, regular expression for uppercase, regular expression for number, and regular expression for special character. Now, let me write a code to validate a password. I'll write if the password, sign up password, dot, there is a property length is less than 8. So this is one of the criteria to validate our password. The length should be greater than or equal to 8. So it is more than sufficient for me if I cross verify whether the length is less than 8. If at all I come to know my length is less than 8, that means I am going to return false. Why? Because this is not matching to my criteria. I'll write if not of lowercase dot matcher sign up password dot matches. Now, if at all my user entered sign up password, which is present in the sign up password, if that does not match to the lowercase pattern, if that is not going to match to the lowercase pattern, then once again I need to return false. Return false. Similarly, if not of uppercase dot matcher sign up password dot matches. If this is not going to match, once again return false. And similarly, if not of number dot matcher of sign up password dot matches. If this is not going to satisfy the condition, return false. And finally, once again, if not of special character dot matcher with sign up password dot matches, then once again return false. So we have cross verified, we have validated whether my password is less than 8. We have cross verified whether my password contains a lowercase, whether my password contains a uppercase, whether my password contains a number, and my password contains a special character. So after verifying all the patterns, if at all in any one of this condition, if my pattern is not going to match, then what I'll be returning is the false. After running all this expression, if I come to know my password is matching with all this value, I'm going to return true. I'm going to return true. So I'm going to return true if and only if my password is containing a length which is less than, which is more than 8. It contains a lowercase, it contains uppercase, it contains a digit, and also it contains a special character. So in that case, I'm going to return a false. In any one of this case, if I'm not going to have a lowercase, or if I'm not going to have a length greater than 8, if I'm not going to have a uppercase, if I'm not going to have a number, if I'm not going to have a special character, I'll be returning false. So that's what I'm going to validate in if statement in our sign up event. So after validating, if I come to know the entered password is a valid password, then I'll be moving from main activity to the login activity. Else, I'll be displaying the toast message specify password does not match the rules. So hope main activity is clear. Now we'll go to the login activity. Receive the email and password which is sent in the put extra method in an intent. Read the email and password in a login activity. Compare email and password which is entered in the login activity with the registered email in the sign up activity. If both are going to match, move on to the next activity, else display the toast message specifying the error. So now in the login activity or XML file activity underscore login, here I am going to add one more property for a button, for a login button. So on click property, when I'm going to click this login button, I'll create an event, login event, which is not added. So let me add this to the login activity. Yes, let me add this to the login activity. The code for which I need to write. Now in your Java file specified as login activity underscore Java, let me create two variables for edit text field. Edit text, one for reading email, the other one for reading password. So I'll write login email, comma, login password, PWD. So I'll declare two variables. I need to map these two variables which are created in a Java with an ID of XML file. So to do that, I'll write login email is equal to find view by ID r dot ID dot. So the ID which I had specified here for edit text field is just edit text login email. Okay, it is mapped. And similarly, login PWD password is equal to find view by ID r dot ID dot. So the ID for password I had specified as edit text login PWD password. So I had mapped login password with a login password field of Java variable and edit text login email with a login email of Java variable in a login activity. Now, after declaring these two variables, I'll take one integer variable mentioned as counter and I'll initialize it to 2. The reason of initializing this counter to 2 is it is clearly mentioned in your question. We should try for login 2 times. If there is a invalid credentials given more than 2 times, your login button should disable. The user should not get the option to log in once again. So maximum number of times he can provide a wrong credentials is 2. And that's the reason to have a count of that, we are going to have a counter initialize it to 2. Now, after declaring the variables, let me start with the login event. So when I start with the login event, I should make sure that I need to read an email as well as password from the edit text field of activity underscore login. So to read that, I'll create a variable string email is equal to retrieve it from the login email dot to retrieve. We have a function get text dot convert it into string. We have a toString. So email field is read and it is stored in a variable email. Similarly, I need to read the password. So I'll declare string pwd equal to login password dot get text convert it into string toString and which is stored in a variable password. Now, not only reading a email and password from the edit text field, we should also read the email and password which was sent in the intent by the main activity. So to read that, I'll create a variable string I'll give the name as registered email, reg email, registered email is equals to retrieve from the intent, we need to call a method get intent. Then from the get intent, we are retrieving the email. Email is specified as a string. So let me write it as get string extra. So the name which we have specified in the main activity while putting the name is email, and while putting the value of password we had mentioned it as pass. So the same name I need to use here. So get string extra email to retrieve the password registered, I'll clear registered PWD is equal to get intent dot, it is a string, get string extra, name I had specified as pass. So we had retrieved email and password from the edit text field, stored it in email and PWD. We have retrieved email and password from the previous activity through the intent and stored it in registered email and registered password. Now I should cross verify whether the entered email and registered email is same. I should cross verify whether the entered password and the registered password are same. If both are same, I should redirect it to the new activity. Else, I should display the error message. I should toast the error message. Okay. Now let me write this. If registered email dot equals email which I had read, email, and registered password dot equals the password which I had read, PWD. So in case if my registered email and the entered email as well as registered password and the entered password, if both are same, if both are equal, then I'm going to create an intent. I'll create intent in is equals to new intent instantiate. So the current activity is login activity dot this. So where I want to navigate is to the login successful activity. So login successful dot class. So done. I create an intent which is going to navigate from the login activity to the login successful activity. So after that, I'll start this activity. Start activity and pass the intent variable in. Done. So this is when I come to know my registered email and registered password is same as entered email and entered password respectively. If this is not the case, else I'll display the toast message. Toast dot make a text. First one is the context. Context is in the current context, which is nothing but login activity dot this. Second parameter is the message. So message, I'll write it as invalid credentials. So this is a message which I'm going to display, and I'm going to display this for the third parameter is for the duration, longer duration. So length underscore long, and finally dot show. So semicolon, done. So I had created a toast message in the login activity mentioning that invalid credentials. When if I come to know that registered email and registered password is different from the entered email or entered password. Now once this is done, I'm going to decrease the counter minus. So I'm going to decrease the counter. Now after decrementing the counter, if I come to know that counter value is equal to 0. If I come to know that counter value is equal to 0, what I am going to do is I am going to display the toast message once again. Toast dot make text in the same login activity dot this with a message. I am going to write it as failed login attempts. Failed login attempts, and I'm going to display this for longer duration, and finally dot show. Not only displaying the toast message, I am also going to disable the login button. So disable login button. I'll write login button. I had not mapped this login button. So let me create a button. I'll write it as BTN, and I'll map this button. So BTN is equal to find view by ID r dot id dot. So the button ID I had specified as button 2. So let me use that. Okay. So the button has been done. Now after displaying this toast message, I'm going to disable this login button. So btn dot set enable. We have a method set enabled as false. Now this is going to make your login button disabled after trying two attempts entering the wrong credentials. So this is what I'm going to do in my login activity. So done with the login activity code. And what I'm going to do in the login successful activity is nothing. We are not going to do any logic here. Just we are going to display the message which is present in the login successful XML file. Activity underscore login underscore successful dot XML file. So let me cross verify whether the code which I had written for the main activity, the code which I had written for the login activity is going to work perfectly or not by launching the activity. Let me run this. It takes a few time to launch the activity. Okay. So the activity is launched successful, and you can see my main activity is having a heading sign up with a field to read the email and field to read the password. So let me enter the email as check at gmail.com or any other username you can enter. Why? Because we have not validated the email. We have only validated the password. So instead of writing any valid email ID, you can also write the username. So username also is going to be read in case of a email, not a problem. We have not validated the email. Why? Because our idea is to validate the password, not your email here in this problem. So if you want, you can validate the email also. So we have not done that. We have only validated with password. So let me cross verify. I'll type a password which is having a length less than 8. So if I try to click on sign up, so I had entered a password which is having a length less than 8. So if I try to press on this sign up, I'll be getting a toast message. Password does not match the rules. So it is validating properly. Now suppose that I'm going to enter a password which is not going to have a uppercase. So in my password, I have a lowercase, I have a special character, I have a digit, but I don't have a uppercase, and the length is more than 8. Even in this case, if I click on a sign up, I'll get a password does not match the rules. If you try to enter any invalid password that is not going to contain a digit, that is not going to contain a lowercase, that is not going to contain uppercase, and that is not going to contain a special character, and the length which is less than 8, obviously the sign up button is going to get you the message password does not match the rules. Now let me enter a valid password. Let me write the password as capital C HECK, check at 1 2 3 4 5. So I'll write a password which is having a uppercase, which is having a lowercase, which is having a special character, which is having a number. Now if I press on sign up, this has to redirect to the login page. Yes, it is getting redirected to the login page. Now in the login page, once again, I have an email and password. Suppose that if I'm going to provide a proper email and password, it has to be redirected to one more activity where you'll be getting a message login successful. Let me check that. Check at gmail.com. So this was the email ID which I had specified, and the password check at 1 2 3 4 5. So I had specified a proper email and proper password which I had entered in the sign up activity. So if this is going to match, I need to redirect it to the login successful page. Yes, so I'm getting redirected to login successful page. Now let me cross verify. After sign up, if I'm not going to enter the proper credentials, after 2 attempts, my login button has to get disabled. Let me cross verify that. So I'll back to this. Enter with the same value, sign up. Yes, it is getting me to the login page. Suppose that I enter a different username and the correct password. So the username is different, but wherein the password is correct. If I click on this login button, invalid credentials. So I'm getting a toast message, invalid credentials. Now, once again, I'll try. Now I'll give the correct email. I'll change the password. I'll give the different password. So if I click on a login button, so I got a invalid as well as failed login credentials. Both the toast message was appeared, and you can see the login button got disabled. Why? Because in the 2 attempts I had given a wrong credentials. After 2 attempts, I should get my login button disabled, and my login button is getting disabled properly. So this is what my sign up activity app. Hope the code and the video is useful for you. If you like this video, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.